Alrighty, and here we go in the top left spot. Okay, then.
Let's pause that introduction. You know, he did just kind of run back downstairs. I think he just had to change a sound setting or something there, but looks like he should be all right.
Okay. Let's try that again. In the top left spawn location as our Teal Protoss player for Blue Dragon Esports, it's going to be Luke. What an original username.
I always like that when someone just picks their name.
Yeah, I was giving him some grief about that earlier.
You know, it's so funny though, right? Because like, at most, you might have mild regret for just picking your name.
It's true.
But a lot of us have pretty high regret for some of the names we pick. Like, unless you're no regret, in which case you literally have no shame ever about anything. But I think, you know, you're never going to be super embarrassed that you called yourself Luke.
That's true.
Ooh.
I think it's even better when you have somebody like Stefano, where Stefano's actually a name and it's just not his name.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always a little bit confusing when people do that. Especially if it's a very generic name and it's like, oh, you know, this guy's Kevin. His actual human name is Dave. We don't know why he called himself Kevin, but nonetheless, looks like a bit of a hatchery block out of Luke there for a while. Forced the hatchery to go down at the third base from Zerghamdi. And meanwhile, Luke getting his Nexus down. And, ooh, Zerghamdi going to go for a little cute gas steal here.
He was saying he likes doing this a lot.
You know, when I play against this, it is always a little bit awkward. It does kind of throw the build off. I was saying, like, we were talking about the matchup before, right? And I was saying to him, you know, I feel like sometimes just doing weird, small things can throw your opponent off. And that's very important in this matchup if you're going aggressive to kind of throw the Protoss off their build order. And it looks like he's drawing some Bly inspiration there. Of course, Bly is, I believe, commentating on the Russian stream, the Ukrainian stream. And, yeah, looks like that gas steal, Zerghamdi showing some love there for, of course, the aggressive mastermind of Zerg.
At the same time, though, Luke's probe has managed to block this third for a very, very long time. So both of them kind of annoying one another here. Another drone's going to come on down, actually just rallying that out to mine from the natural. So this is going to be a bit of a late third from Zerghamdi. He's getting a couple of lings out now. He'll be able to clear out that probe, but this is still later than you would generally like to have your third.
Yeah. You know, this is like profit. He's forcing these probes to not mine. Now, obviously, he's already got 16 guys on minerals, but what Luke should have done is taken that natural gas, actually. That's something that doesn't always occur to you in the moment.
We had Al Golden do that earlier.
Now. Yeah, exactly, you know. So wastes a bit of mining time there and delays the gas, and that really slows down the tech here because Luke wants to get Warp Gate, he wants to get a Mothership Core as well as this early Adept. Where's his tech going to be? He just doesn't have the gas for it. So unless he wanted to cut his Mothership Core or something, he has to skip that tech for a while. So already a nice slowdown here from Zerghamdi.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to catch this Adept a little bit here. Luke is going to probably be able to shade it on in, but it's taking quite a bit of damage. So oh, is it actually going to die? No, it does get on in.
Ooh, he's going to snag a drone as well. That's nice. Fortuitous, you know, shade positioning there. He's going to kind of dive on in. That Queen's going to just throw some darts into his face. And Adepts don't have enough range to reach that far, so he's just gonna lay off for the moment. Meanwhile, Zergling's starting to probe the front over here, and it is going to be a Twilight Council opening, no doubt going for that Adept attack speed in the near future, but it is a little bit delayed. Meanwhile, back at home, keep in mind Zerghamdi doesn't have vision, and he's actually a bit paranoid about Oracles here. He's going for very fast Spore Crawlers. That's like really fast. That's quite a dent in his income.
Yeah.
And you can see it in his work account right now. He's down at just 27 workers versus 35 probes. I think jumping the gun a little bit there and being, I would really call that paranoid Spore Crawlers. Like, they're definitely not necessary.
Yeah, if you're going to put on blind Spore Crawlers, you really don't need them before at least 4 minutes 20 here. And we're not even at 4 minutes 20 and they're done. So a little bit of a mistake there from Zerghamdi is going to cut into his economy for sure. And Luke is benefiting from this because he's already got his third on the way. He's getting that Resonating Glaives upgrade. And it looks like Zerghamdi is going to opt to play with the Roach-based style. He sees this. Not going to be too happy about those spores now because that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that really did slow down his build-up. It looks like he has paused his probing for now. Just building Overlords, and there we go. The Roach Warren finishes, and outcome 8 Roaches all at once. Behind that, Speedlings as well. It looks like a big, almost all-in attack here from Zerghamdi. He's going to need to kill the third base at least, maybe even do more damage than that. But what does Luke have to deal with this? He's got Glaives on the way. He's got a Forge. He's got a few more Gateways. He's going to have a good a good gateway count? Actually, no. Those are only his second and third gateways. This third Nexus went down before extra gateways. Luke is being a greedy boy right now. And with only a few Adepts out, I think he's going to be punished. I don't know what he can do to stop these roaches.
Yeah, he's going to really need the Photon Overcharge to do a lot of work here. He'll have around 4, maybe. He's getting a sentry now as well. 1 sentry by itself isn't really going to be enough to do much here. Glaives should finish, so that's something, but there's really not that many Adepts to benefit from it.
The Zealots in the natural wall already almost going down. Adepts are warping in there, but Zergling's already making their way into that main base. It's all about the Mothership Core and the Overcharges, but oh no, Adepts getting surrounded between the bases. A great start to this attack for Zerghamdi, and these Adepts even shading back into the main to defend the mineral line, leaving the wall wide open. Oh no, the pylon goes down. 1 less gateway production, only 2 gateways producing for Luke right now. Nothing to overcharge in this natural. All of his units being overwhelmed, and this looks like a fantastic attack for Zerghamdi. Overwhelming Luke and just doing the massive damage.
Yeah, Luke just getting way too greedy, and those roaches are out of range of the overcharge right here at the third. And yeah, I mean, 24, 25 workers already going down. Those gateways so late, and just, I mean, I feel like he was ready for this if it had been just like a Ling attack. He would have had the Resonating Glaives, he would have had Adepts, but he wasn't expecting roaches here. And Zerghamdi catching Luke completely off guard, blindsiding him, and that's going to be game number 1. GG is called. Zerghamdi takes game number 1.
GG, well played.
The guy who switches it up.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how this goes. Of course, trying to remember my hotkeys there for that scoreboard. Got it proper this time. Spawning up here in the top left-hand side of King Sejong. Our Zerg player taking a very decisive Game 1 victory. It is Zerghamdi.
And his opponent is going to be none other than a South African representative, the Teal Protoss from Blue Dragon Esports. It is Luke.
Pretty cool logo they've.
It looks kind of like a Pokemon.
I'm actually really excited. I've got a new phone when I get home, and I'll finally be able to play Pokemon Go after all the hype's died down.
Zerghamdi really likes Bly.
Shout out to Bly.
I really like Bly too. Bly is a cool guy.
Until you beat him on ladder a few too many times. Just joking. I love Bly. Me and Bly get on very well. And Bly is such a resource for Zerg players as well.
Oh yeah.
You want to try different ways of throwing your opponents off, trying new odd paths of tech. Bly's the guy to study up on, and definitely a player who gets it. Interestingly, once again here a Protoss player choosing the kind of Zergy map and going for a Nexus first into the gateway and then the gas.
This is so not standard right now. We've seen it 2 times today now.
You know, it's interesting that it's not standard, right? Because if you think about it, like most of the time you can get away with it. Like Zergs are almost always going hatch first, but for some reason it's just fallen completely out of the meta. I guess just because the gate gas Nexus is so close in terms of efficiency. With this, you just get out that like extra 1 or 2 probes. And the real advantage of the faster version with the gate gas Nexus, I can hear units attacking, but I can't tell where it is. I don't know where that was from. But yeah, you know, where those units are sorry, with the build order, lost my train of thought there. With this build order, your tech's slowed down a lot. You just can't go for the fast glaive timing. You can't go for the super fast oracle, right? So it's very much kind of allows the Zerg a bit more space and comfort to open up. As long as they recognize, hey, this is a really fast Nexus, let's drone a little bit harder than normal. So I'd like to see Zerghamdi kind of go for that third base very quickly and just focus on droning really hard for the first few minutes in this game.
Yeah, he's already gone for a couple of sets of Lings, going for a very fast Evo. And I do think this is going to be +1 melee here. And I was actually talking to him a little bit about this before the game, and I was saying I really like going for fast +1 melee and kind of like a drop in the main while trying to run by and cancel the third, because then you get to maybe do some damage, and at the very least, you get to scout which tech they're going for, and then you can react accordingly, because Lings, they synergize so well with basically everything.
Looks like he's going to come in here and, exposing a weak point in that wall. Luke's got to pull that Zealot out. He has to go fight those Zerglings with good micro and a few probes he can take it out. But it looks like Zerghamdi's going to commit. He's going to get the pylon. Oh, and forcing 2 more pylons off even before Luke needed them. Only loses 2 Zerglings for a great pickup by Zerghamdi. And Luke's got to be pretty annoyed with that.
Yeah, that is extremely annoying. And now we have more and more Lings in production. And if Luke goes for a faster third, he's going to have less units because that gateway's now been unpowered for a while. He is going for the Resonating Glaives once again. So I imagine it's going to be something similar. But there's a lot of Lings on the way. And while Adepts are really good against Lings, at the same time, if you have that critical mass of Lings, you can do a lot against Adepts. He's making 2 Drop Overlords. Is he 1 on either side?
Oh, that's awesome.
That is dirty, but awesome.
This main base is wide open. There's like lots of angles where it's hard for the Protoss to have vision. So you can imagine here, just 27 drones, 3 hatcheries, plus 1 melee is going to be finishing, you know, in about a minute's time. But if he can drop from both sides with Zerglings while hitting the front, and if Luke's trying to take a third at the same time, this is going to be disastrous. This might actually be good for Luke that this gets cancelled for now. You got 2 gateways are finally getting close to finishing the main, but all he has is a Zealot and a Mothership Core. The Mothership Core's down at the third. It doesn't even have that much energy, and the Zerglings are already beginning to load up. He's seen the Overlord, but I don't know if he's realized it's there just yet. He's still sending out a probe to go for the third base. Meanwhile, Zerglings unloading in the main, and it's time. Zerghamdi's diving on him. The Zergling's going to start to tear apart the probe line, and Luke, slow to react, only now pulls those probes, but already 6 of them going down.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10 going down now, and this is looking like it might already just be too much. This is just so much damage being done, and only Lings in production here for Zerghamdi. The wall is broken. Warp Gate's only finishing now. So those 2 gateways in the main have been completely useless up until this point. He's still not morphing them into Warp Gates just yet. He's losing so many of these probes. And Melee's not even done yet.
He's got to wall off. He's got to re-wall down here, or these Zerglings going to continue to flood in. But he's too late on it. There's no Mothership Core energy left. Only a single Adept warping in. And these Zerglings are going ham on this probe line. 29, 30 probes down. Zerghamdi getting out of control here. Takes a decisive 2-0 victory with that relentless ZVP aggression.
And yeah, the game I was expecting to be the closest, the least so.